Hello, Flosstube, and welcome back to Coco the Creative. I'm Coco, and this is Flosstube number 11. Life update. I am 30 weeks pregnant. I am very tired. We're in the final stretch. This is the third trimester. This is the most uncomfortable trimester. Sleep is spotty. Last night it certainly was. But we're getting through it, and Christmas is coming. Thanksgiving's coming up. Christmas is coming up. I get to meet my baby, hopefully between Christmas and New Year's, and I also my birthday is in February, so I have a lot of things to look forward to and to be excited about. Um, so it's just like I'm dealing with the discomfort by just being like, oh, I can't wait until Thanksgiving when my whole family's here and everybody's like showering me with compliments and gifts, because family members are just nicer to you and do more things for you when you're carrying grandchildren and grandnieces and nephews around for them. So that's a life update. Um, this weekend, my husband is on a work trip and he won't be back until like the middle of the week. So I have been busting my butt marketing my books because, in case you're new, I am an indie author. I do everything myself. I'm marketing my books right now and things are going well. I'm actually getting some sales off on Amazon, which is like really, really exciting. I hope to be able to do a very small book signing before the baby gets here. I might be a little bit too ambitious with that, but I'm just waiting to hear back from my local library to see if they will accept me as a guest. And lots of little exciting things, but I'm tired of being in the social media indie book marketing space. And because I'm in that space, it's like I'm more prone to like doom scrolling and just like getting caught up in, there's always drama. There's always drama in these spaces, and I just don't want to constantly see the drama and get caught up and everything like that. And yeah, I'm just trying to stay on course with the things that my goals and things like that. So I have all these hobby goals for the weekend, and I kind of want to just do like where I'm at now and then connect this to a different video where I talk about like the progress that I've made over the course of however many days. And this is something that Crafty Gaming Jamie does, and I really like how she structures her videos. So yeah, I'm taking a page out of her book and seeing how I feel about this. And yeah, so let's get going because I don't want to talk you guys' head off about just everything that's going on. Okay, so for the agenda, I'm going to talk about 3 stitches. One of them is kind of a new start, and it's based off of something that I showed you in my stash in either the last video or 2 videos ago. One of them is something I've already started, but I'm returning to it, and it is another seasonal stitch, so that's exciting. And then the first one I'll talk about, you guys have seen before. So yeah, we'll talk about 3 stitches, and then the rest of this part of the video is going to be about books that I've finished since I last talked to you guys, and books that I am currently reading, because I want to talk about my progress on those books like later in the week. And then I'll talk a little bit about my books that I've been working so hard to get out there, to get seen and things like that. And I'll put links for everything below. So let's get started. Okay, so I have been working on Titus Bubbles by Needleminder Lair. He looks really good. I've gotten a lot done. I think the last time you saw him, it was about this much. But now I've gotten into his body more. And this is just a super easy, super fun stitch. I don't work on him every day. I would say I work on him every 2 to 3 days, because when I do work on him, I get a lot done. And yeah, this is actually putting me back into the mood of playing Final Fantasy X. And I actually picked up where I left off in Final Fantasy X, and I kind of like finished another like little chapter or something, like a little major scene, fight, little mini boss, and then end scene. So yes, I am engaging in my fandom that I like so much. And this is on, I think, 16 count. The fabric is from 123 Stitch. It's called like Arctic Ice something. Um, it's pretty big. I'm probably going to put more Final Fantasy characters on here. I have two other Titus. I have two other Titus patterns, and I have a bunch of stuff saved on Etsy. Um, that's from the Final Fantasy X universe. So yeah, that's Titus Bubbles. Okay. Okay, so this is a stitch that I kitted up. And I've said it before, I'll say it again, I hate kitting things up. But once they're kitted up, I'm super excited. It just feels better once they're kitted up for me. So I don't use a lot of colors when I kit up. Or I don't use a lot of thread when I kit up. I just go back and get more if I need to. But yeah, this is the situation here, the kitting up situation. Okay, so I don't know if you remember this fabric. Oh, there it is. But I was doing a stitch on this fabric. I was doing like a sampler, just a little floral sampler. And it was too light. The floss was too light for the fabric. I thought the fabric was going to be darker when it came in the mail. And I said, oh, let me just keep going and see how I feel about it, blah, blah, blah. I was feeling terrible about it. So I just stopped and I was like, I ripped a lot of it out, but there's still a lot left. But this fabric piece is so big that I just don't need to rip the rest of this out right now. So yeah, I decided to go ahead and do strawberry frogs on here. And this is what I have so far. And I'll put up the picture. But yeah, you can clearly see that is the top of a frog's head. I'm really enjoying this stitch because it's festive, like holiday colors, but it's technically not a, like a seasonal stitch of any kind. And I was going to save this for Strawberry Moon Sal, but there's like 4 frogs and other little like things in the pattern. There's strawberries, there's flowers, there's leaves. And I just feel like I can just knock a small out of the way without taking away from my Strawberry Moon Sal, because there's other frogs on there. And I really like how this looks on this fabric. And I'm happy now, because before I was like, both of these were a waste of money, blah, 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 blah. And I don't like buying stuff that I'm not going to use, but it's now turning out to be really cool. And I'm excited to see like what the greens and stuff will look like on here. So yeah, that is Strawberry Frogs. And yeah, that was completely spontaneous. It's another small. I just wanted to work on a small that wasn't Titus, just like to go back and forth on, and it's been good so far. Okay, let me put Titus back. I actually didn't put him back in his bag. Okay, he's back in the bag. Okay, and then the last. Oh, and by the way, Strawberry Frogs is by Box and Fox on Etsy, and I'll link them below. The last thing that I'm going to work on, that I'm going to show you. Hold on. Okay, sorry. I'm back. My child had an emergency. Okay, so I have traded out my underwater tapestry for a different Joy Autumn piece. And if you've been following my channel, you know about this one. It is, oh, I should show you the card, which I have right here, so I don't have to put up a picture. It doesn't have a name. I have been calling this Santa Pandas. Sorry. Yeah, it's super cute. There's two Santas, and they have a bunch of panda helpers instead of elf helpers, and there's some really cute reindeer in there too, right there. I love the colors in this. It's so festive. I love the like Western, like Christmas motifs meets the Asian kind of like landscape and in the background, and also like the cherry blossom trees, the pandas. It's so cute. And I started this literally on November 1st. I was just, once Halloween was over, I was like, I have to work on this. And I was also getting a little tired of the underwater tapestry. I had just made so much progress on that I felt comfortable with taking a step back from it. And like I said, I have a bunch of other Joy Autumn pieces that I want to work on. And I don't think I'm going to be working on all of them at once, but I do want to kind of start them as the season, because like some of them are more like springtime, some of them are more like winter time and things of that nature. So I want to kind of rotate them out. So yeah, this is what I've done so far. I'm not going to unfold the whole thing. And when I last showed this to you, I just had like this top like row done. I had this star done and then I had this star done, but that's it. It was just like this night sky row and 2 stars. So I have made progress on the tree. I have made progress on the night sky, which is it's just block stitching. So yeah, I just realized there was like a little, once again, I can't tell if that's a rabbit or a cat, but it's in the tree. And it's just so fun, like finding these little things hidden in there. It's one of the reasons why I like Joy Autumn pieces. There's just never like, there's always just something fun to work on. If you don't want to work on the filling in part, you pick a motif and you start working on it, and it's like super fun. So yeah, I do have a method. I am basically doing a little bit of confetti here, and then I'll do a cell of night sky because there's a lot of night sky that I got to get through, and I don't want to leave all of that for my future self. So I go, it's like for doing a cell of night sky, I reward myself with a little bit of confetti. And yeah, I'm just trying to keep it really tight and condensed. So what my goal is for the duration of the holidays, I want to get to at least the 100 mark in the night sky, and I'm almost there. So just that much more night sky left over. And then I want to get down to the, oh, well, I'm at the 50 mark right now, but I'm clearly gonna be done with that soon. I thought that 50 by 100 would be more than enough to get me through like the holidays, but apparently it's not. So I'm going to extend. I'm going to go further down, but I'm going to stay on this side of the pattern. I'm not going to, with the underwater tapestry, I'm like moving all the way across. I'm not going to do that with this one. I'm going to stay on one side and just kind of keep moving down, but not going past like that 100 mark or two. Like, obviously this is past it, but that's because I'm sticking to the motif. Unless the motif bridges out the main motif bridges out from the 100 mark. I'm not going to go past the 100 mark, and I'm just going to keep working my way down and just try to get as much done as I can before the holidays are up. But yes, there will be plenty more for future Coco to stitch. Yeah, when I'm done. So that's been super fun. I'll tell you one of the books that I'm listening to while I stitch that, but I stitch that when I'm watching basketball in the evening times because I watch a lot of NBA. And I stitch it when I'm listening to audiobooks, and sometimes I just stitch in silence because it really is like an engaging piece. So yeah, got that off of the Joy Autumn store on AliExpress. Okay, this is the part in the video where I'm going to talk about books that I have finished since I last talked about them, and books that I'm currently reading that I want to make progress on between now and the middle of the week. So if you're just looking to see the progress on the stitches, you're going to have to kind of do some jumping around, but I will talk about stitches again in the next half of this video. So yeah, here you go. Okay, if you are ready to talk about books with me, let me just quickly go over books that I've finished in, honestly, the month of October. I'm so surprised. I finished 3 books in the month of October. Okay, first one, A Song for the Road by Catherine Labadie. I've had nothing but good things to say about this book, and I'm not going to get into much detail because I wrote a review about this book on Amazon and on Goodreads. And by the way, if you read books by indie authors and they sell their books on Amazon and they're linked on Goodreads as well, please, please, please get those reviews on there. Your review does not have to be that long. Mine certainly aren't. I'm not out here trying to write dissertations for in books that I'm just enjoying on the side. Like, you can just say the things that you liked about the book. And yeah, that's what I basically did. So I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. I'm an extremely picky person in general, and especially with my books. Like, you have to be just like firing off on all cylinders. I mean, no book is perfect. I don't give 5 stars for perfection. I give 5 stars because the things that I enjoyed about the book completely took over whatever else I may not have enjoyed. Like, it completely overshadowed it. That's how good the book was to me. And yeah, this is a kind of a big read, but it's a standalone. And like I said, if you're into romantasy, this is more like adult fiction. So no, it's not YA. There's open door romance. It's not like super duper spicy. It is like the culmination of a slow burn. It's just a very balanced book. Cottagecore vibes. They have bards. They have dwarves. There's like kind of tropey stuff. Like, oh, there's age gap stuff. There's I'm trying to think what the other trope is. There's found family. There's all kinds of cool stuff in here. So it was just like a beautiful story, and I really like the world. So I might get back into this world with her other Catherine Labadie's other like standalone romantasy. I think it's called A Turn of the Wheel, and it also has like the same type of artwork for the cover, which is like really, really gorgeous. So yeah, 5 out of 5 stars. Okay, I finished 2 other books. One of them, I don't have it well, I read them on my Kindle. They were Kindle Unlimited. So, oh man, I didn't write down the name. Okay, so the name of the author. I'm going to just kind of like look it up real quick. But the name of the book is called The Dreamer and the Deep Space Warrior by T.K. Tucker. I don't think I talked about this book because it was one of those books where it was on my Kindle Unlimited like stash. I didn't know if I was going to finish it. Yeah, I read this book in 2 days. I was this was so it was just such a fun read. It was one of those genre matchups. So if you read Regency type romance, it's that combined with sci-fi. And she did perfectly. Like she it was like it I don't really read Regency romance, but I was a former English major and I've always been into literature, so I've read a lot of Victorian like British lit, and so I'm familiar with like the style of writing that Regency romance authors adopt. And so if you're into either Victorian literature, Regency romance, or shows like Bridgerton, which are based off of Regency romance books, that's kind of the perspective of the female main character. And then the male main character, he's like based off of Predator from like Alien versus Predator, like the Predator like series, and his world is like very sci-fi and stuff. It's just so cool. It is it was like such a cool book, and I had so much fun reading it. I was just amazed by the author's ability to just like combine those genres so seamlessly. And it was just like extremely enjoyable, and it's just indulgent. Like there's just like a lot of steaminess and attraction between the characters, and I'm just like, this is so great. So check that out if you have a chance. And I also follow this author on Threads. She seems really, really cool. So yeah, I finished that, and I'm pretty sure I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. So yeah, I finished that in the month of October, and I read it in like 2 days. So I don't remember the last time I binge read a book like that. Okay, last book I finished in October was called Swept Up by Simone West. This is kind of different for me. I don't typically read contemporary romance, unless it's got something supernatural, something magical going on. I don't usually read straight up romance, but I liked the description, and it was on Kindle Unlimited, and it wasn't a long book. Sometimes you gotta kind of pepper your reading with shorter books. So I picked this one up, and it took me a little bit longer to get into it because, once again, I'm not like, I like there to be some kind of supernatural, like magical thing happening on some level. When none of that is there, I'm just like, okay. But it was really sweet. It's a small town romance, and it's definitely for adult audiences. Lots of spicy scenes, but I felt like it just it was just like a good like little small town romance. The characters were like relatable, and it was just really sweet, but still spicy. I think I gave it like a 4 out of 5 stars, and I wrote reviews for all these books. So, yeah, I'm not going to go into detail about that because I'm just on here like telling you what I finished, and I'm not trying to. This is not turning into a book tube. I'm not going to go into detail. But yeah, I really like that one as well. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the books that I am currently reading. So one of them you've seen before, Blood Moon by Brittany S. Lewis. Disclaimer, I'm not really into vampires. I've read a lot of paranormal romance. I still go back to that genre every now and then. I did read Twilight. I liked it. This was like a long time ago, but I liked it, but I didn't like it enough to like continue the series. And I just feel like normal about it. But a lot of people think this is a Twilight fan fiction. or this started off as a Twilight fan fiction, and it didn't. It just pulls from a lot of the same things that Twilight pulls from, which is paranormal romance tropes and stuff like that. But this is actually not YA, it is new adult. The characters are starting college, and there's definitely like going to be a love triangle going on. And I'm on page 55 right now. Um, but yeah, I'm going to see how far I can get into this book by the middle of the week. The next book that I'm reading is on my Kindle. And I just started this one not that long ago. It's called A Court of Sugar and Spice by Rebecca F. Kenny. And it is actually a Nutcracker retelling, which I am also writing. I think I got shown this because the way the Threads algorithm works, it just takes like words that you use in your posts and shows you stuff associated with that. And I was talking the mess out of my own Nutcracker retelling, and then I got shown that one, and that one is a lot more adult, because mine is not. It's YA, but I'm really enjoying this because I don't think I've ever read like a new adult or an adult like spicy romance for a Nutcracker retelling, and I'm reading it. It actually has like some steampunk elements, which is like really cool because I do clockpunk in my Nutcracker retelling, but I've been like proofreading and editing and proofreading mine that I'm like, I still love the Nutcracker, but it's nice to read somebody else's like, you know, play on this without having to worry about what are people going to think, and is this sentence the way I want it to sound and stuff like that. So yeah, I like that one, and it's also on Kindle Unlimited, so I am making use of my $12 a month. And the last thing I'm reading, I don't have a copy of it because I'm listening to the audiobook. It's called Kingdom Cold by Brittany Chanel, and I saw this book on Threads because I follow this author, and she's doing like a special edition, and it's coming out in hardback. She's got two different versions because she's got two different endings because it's a love triangle, and it's kind of based off of like, well, it's kind of inspired by Korean fantasy, but also her main character is a Black woman, and it's got Arthurian legend in there too. So it's a little bit of a genre mash up there, which I kind of like that because I think, you know, you could only read about dragons and mythical creatures and elves and stuff so many times. Like, I like when authors do something different and like, yeah, with their stuff, so it makes it more unique to them. And I'm about halfway through the audiobook of the first book. There's 3 books. There's Kingdom Cold, Kingdom Soul, and Kingdom Untold. And I'm really enjoying it so far. And yeah, I listen to it when I'm stitching my Joy Autumn piece. So, and right now it's like a 4 out of 5 stars for me right now. It's just like, and it's more YA leaning, but it's like, I don't know. Anybody can enjoy it, but it's definitely like in the YA new adult. Like, I think it could be considered YA, but I think it also could be considered new adult if you're wondering like what the age of the characters are and stuff like that. Sometimes in fantasy, the YA age of the characters, it seems a little bit more adult because like a lot of like they have to learn swordplay and they have to like learn how to run a kingdom and court politics and stuff, so they just have to be a little bit more mature and things like that. And that's what's going on in that book. There's, you know, royals, you know, kingdom, court politics, arranged marriages. That's kind of like the big trope, is arranged marriage, and I'm really enjoying it. So yeah. Okay, let me just manga. I am also reading a little bit of manga. So I think I've mentioned this series before, but it's called Yona of the Dawn. And I don't really know um, how much I've talked about this, but I think I told you. Hold on. I want to show you. Okay, this is not working the way that the other one's working. Okay, so anyway, this is what I have downloaded right now for Yona of the Dawn. I just finished this book, which is, I think, volume 17. And right now I'm on volume 18. So this one. And I'm 45% through of the way through. So yeah, we'll see how far I get into that by the middle of the week. But I'm not putting a whole lot of pressure on myself. I just want to let you know I'm also reading Yona of the Dawn in terms of manga. And then I just got back into Witch Hat Atelier. And these are I'm collecting these. One of the few manga series that I will collect in like physical copy form. And this is Witch Hat Atelier number 9. I really like this series. It's just like pure fantasy. There's this really cool magic system going on. And if you ever get a chance, you should definitely check it out. And it's kind of funny with Witch Hat. I picked this up because I just wanted to read something like just like not easy, but like easy going. Because I was reading a lot of heavy manga. I think I was like reading like Vinland Saga and a Vagabond. Like these are like if you've watched like Attack on Titan, it's just kind of dark and that level of just like seriousness. And I was like, okay, I want to find something that's just like a little bit more chill. And this gave me like Ghibli vibes. And the main character's name is Coco. And I was just like, I have to read it. We're name sisters, like, and I'm really glad I picked it up because it's like super cute. But it still has like serious themes and stuff like that. But it's definitely more like serious on the level of like the seriousness in Miyazaki films, not like Vinland Saga, Attack on Titan level seriousness. Okay, last thing I want to talk about are my books. So this is the book that I am trying to get a book signing for. It's called The Clockmaster's Apprentice. It is YA. It is a Nutcracker retelling. It is a novella for Novella November. I know a lot of readers like to read novellas during November. So yeah, it is currently available on Amazon Kindle Unlimited. But on November the 17th, it is coming to paperback. This is my proof. And I don't have any author copies right. This is the proof. It says like, yeah, do not resell or whatever. This is the one that I was using to like proofread and stuff. And yeah, I'm super excited. And I have some swag, some like art prints that I'm going to give away at the book signing. And I'm not showing them off yet because I'm actually not revealing what the art looks like until after I publish the paperback. Okay, I'm back. I had to pause it again because another child emergency. My husband usually has them on the weekend mornings. So yeah, this is why I'm doing this. I'm trying to just like stay sane. Okay, and then my last book that I'm talking about is my contemporary romance. It's called A Girl Named Blush. I don't know if I have talked about this book yet, but yes, this is my contemporary romance with a supernatural twist. So let me see. How much do I want to tell you about A Girl Named Blush? It is about a girl named Blair Sunderland, and she is about to embark on her senior year of high school. Now, Blair has a history with bullying and cyberbullying and things of that nature. And it's really affected her mental health so much that she stopped painting. She's kind of like an inspiring artist, and she used to do like watercolor, oil paintings and stuff like that. And she kind of stopped because of all of the bullying affecting her. Um, and now she has kind of grown from that, and she's gone through therapy, and she is kind of just at that time in her life where she's becoming more into like the woman that she's going to be. And but she still hasn't gotten back into painting. The most she allows herself to do is just like doodle. But then she meets this new boy at her school named Luca Brighton. And Luca he's very alternative. Like, he has pink hair. He does parkour. He rides around on a skateboard. He's very like affectionate and outgoing, and he kind of like just catches her off guard. And he really like kind of like connects with her through her artwork. Like, he finds out that she used to be an artist, and then he kind of wants to like see more of that side of her, and she's like hesitant and stuff like that. And also, Blair works at a bubble tea cafe, and that's where they meet. And so there's a lot of like, if you are into bubble tea, if you're into like the like Asian bakeries and stuff like that, there's a lot of that imagery in here. And the bubble tea cafe where Blair works is magical. And I don't want to say how it's magical, because it's I don't want to give too much away. But this is one of my stories on Wattpad that was tremendously popular at the time that I was publishing chapters for free for my readers. And this book has this really special place in my heart, and now it's finally in paperback. And excuse me, actually, one of the bookstagrammers that follows me put it on her TBR, and I'm just like super excited about more people learning about A Girl Named Blush. And right now it is available in ebook and paperback on Amazon, and it's also available on Amazon Kindle Unlimited. So yeah, these two books are the ones I've been working really hard to get out there for people to know about, because this one is kind of like Christmas themed, and this one is just, I just feel like it has a big audience because it is contemporary romance. So yeah, I'll link them below. And that's all I wanted to talk to you about. So yeah, let me know what you think about my stitches. And if you're have you started working on your like more Christmassy themed seasonal stitches, or are you still working on like Halloween or like fall stitching? So yeah, just let me know what's going on in the comments. And until next time, I hope you have a good one. Well, actually, I'm not ending this video, but I will see you in the next part of this video when I come back in the middle of the week and I tell you about what I was able to accomplish out of all the stuff that I had. So yeah, bye. Hey, Flosstube. I'm back. So this is part 2 of Flosstube number 11. Okay, so it has been exactly 7 days since I filmed my last video, and I am proud to say that I worked on all my projects, and I feel really good about where I'm at in all of them, all 3 of my projects. I worked on almost every day on each of them. So yeah, and before I go over that, I'm just going to show you my teacup. And today I'm drinking hibiscus tea. And earlier this morning I had chai tea with like oat milk. Okay, so let's start with, oh, and the agenda for today. I'll talk about the progress that I made on the 3 projects um, um, since starting the video. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about haul. I did not think I would be getting haul during this time, but I did. I got a little haul and I'm excited about it, so I'm going to talk about it. And then I'm going to tell you about my progress on my books. So I'm saving the books for the end of this video. Okay, so let's start with Titus Bubbles. I'm getting really excited about this one because I feel like I just made so much progress. Like, ooh, and then from afar you can just, like you can see his blitz ball just coming into focus really well. But yes, Titus, I call this Titus Bubbles. And I think it's either Titus Bubbles or Bubbles Titus or something on the description. But yeah, I just worked down his body and I started working on the blitz ball that he's holding. I also added more bubbles. Like these bubbles are new. Like this one was half done, I think last time you saw it. This bubble's done now. This little bubble's new. So, and I've also become more comfortable with like hanging threads, parked threads, whatever you want to call them. Because sometimes I just don't know what I want to work on. And it can get it can just get kind of like, I feel like I spend more time putting a thread away rather than just leaving it there and just making sure that I don't, get it knotted up with my other threads when I'm stitching. So I think I've become more comfortable with having at least like at the most 3 just trailing threads. So yeah. And then this pattern is from Needleminder Lair. I'll link the shop down below. It's on Etsy. This is 3 strands on 16 count Arctic ice, I think is the name of the fabric from 123 Stitch. And yeah, I'm really enjoying this. It's super fun. And it makes me want to play more Final Fantasy X. And I think when I started stitching on that, I was like, oh, I don't think I'll ever use 3 strands again. I think I'm going to do 2. But now that I'm gotten further into the stitch, I think it does look better with 3 strands. Like, I don't know, I think it just goes with the pixel kind of art style a little bit better. And now I'm just kind of used to it. So I think I will do future Final Fantasy like smalls with 3 strands as long as it calls for it. I've been racking my brains on what I'm going to do next because all my other Final Fantasy X smalls are Titus's. Like I didn't buy anything else from Needleminder Lair, but I don't know. I think I might want to do Yuna next, maybe Waka. We'll see. I'm not buying anything until I'm done with this, and then I'm going to see how I feel. Okay. Next one is Strawberry Frogs by Box and Fox, which is also on Etsy. Okay. So I haven't talked about this fabric in a while, but this is called like Volcano. Oh no, it's from Volcano Stitchery or something like that. I've only ordered one thing from there, and it was this fabric. I cannot remember the name of this fabric, but yeah, the story with this is that I thought it was going to be a lot darker, and I had planned to stitch something else on it. I started stitching on it with a very light variegated thread. It's actually a silk floss, so it's my first time working with silk. And while it felt really good and it was very smooth and the pattern was really easy, it's really hard to see on this fabric. And I was just thinking maybe it would get better, and it just never did. So I ended up ripping a lot of it out. I left some of it there because I got tired of ripping it out. And I started a different stitch on it. And I have just a whole like set of these strawberry frogs, and I just thought it would look better. I just thought it would look cool in this background, and I really like how the frogs look on this fabric. So I don't know what I'm going to do with this frog when I'm done. I think I might see if one of my kids wants it. It's just an easy small. There's not that many colors. Um, it's just fun. Now that the frog's face is done, it's just something fun to look at as I keep going. And yeah, it's been a fun little stitch. And pretty convenient when I go to like take my son to soccer practice. I just sit there, pull up the pattern on my phone, and work on them. Okay. Oh, and I always forget to talk about like what is the fabric count. The fabric count is, I believe, either 16 or 18 count, and it's 2 strands. So yeah. Okay, Santa pandas. Time for Santa pandas. Okay, I don't have a needle for this one. This has just been such a fun little thing to work on. Okay, so this is the progress that I made. I think the last time I showed you, I wasn't this far into the tree, but now I'm sorry. Like trying to see my face. Oh my God. I'm struggling. Okay, sorry. Another thing I could do is move my thing down so you can see. Okay, this is way better. I'm just going to do that next time. Okay, so I got further down into the tree, and I'm like almost done with the tree. Like the tree is about to disappear behind Santa's sleigh. And then I started working on this other like motif, this bunny rabbit motif right here inside this bubble. And when I'm done with this motif, I kind of concentrated on it. And when I'm done with it, then I'm going to start working more on this night sky. And yeah, we're just going to stay on this, like this side of of the pattern, and just keep working our way down. But I really like the way it's turning out. The colors are like super festive and fun, and this is a great nighttime stitch and good for, I just kind of was feeling nostalgic, and I started watching, it's a rewatch, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, which I think is just one of those movies that did a great job of adapting from book to film, because a lot of book to film adaptations are just completely different from the source material, and not in a good way. But The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is like one of those almost one-to-one comparison, which is crazy because like the Chronicles of Narnia were written a long, long time ago. So, you would think that it would be more difficult to adapt that kind of writing style to the screen, but no, director did a great job, and I was stitching while I was watching that. Okay, so now let's talk about haul. Okay, so super quick, I was on Dream Stitch and I saw 2 Joy Autumn type pieces that I could not find on the Joy Autumn store, and I got them. One is and I'm going to put the pictures on the screen, but right now I'm just trying to remember what it is. One is like they're at a train station, and there's just ginkgo trees all around them, and it's like it's fall or winter. I forgot when ginkgo trees turn yellow, but yeah, all the leaves on the ginkgo trees are yellow, and I love ginkgo leaves. I love ginkgo trees. I think it's a really cool leaf shape, and I've never grown a ginkgo tree, but I kind of want to. And my mother-in-law has one in her yard that I just admire every time I go over there. And when I see ginkgo trees out in the wild, I just like freak, I just freak out. And uh, I have looked, it's kind of like with the hibiscus flower. I have looked and looked and looked around for cross stitch patterns that feature ginkgo leaves, and I just don't, I wouldn't say I don't like them, the ones that are out there, because I do like them, but they don't speak to me. It doesn't say, Coco, you need to stitch this. But when I saw this Joy Autumn piece, I was like, oh, I need to stitch it, because it's not just ginkgo leaves. There's something happening. They're at the train station, just like romanticizing the ordinary with the cute little animals and stuff like that. Just, they're just getting on a train and they're just like in this forest of ginkgo leaves. So yeah, that's on its way here. I don't have it yet. And then you guys are going to think I'm so silly for this one. This was not intentional. I just said, if I find something that's Halloween themed that I like better than the one Halloween stitch that I got for myself that I don't want anymore, I'll consider getting it. Well, I found another Joy Autumn Halloween stitch, and this one is just so much, to me, better than the other one. The colors are better. I just liked the scene better, and yeah, I just had to get it. So I'm trying another Halloween stitch, but I'm gonna save it for next. I'm not gonna work on it right now. Like, we're not in that mood. As soon as October was over, I was like, I am in the holiday mood. I am in the Christmas mood. I am, I'm breaking out my Santa stitch. So we'll save it for next year. But the stuff on Dream Stitch and the Joy Autumn website just does not stay there. Some of the pieces stay there for like ever, but some of them just don't, like they disappear. So if you really like a piece, you have to get, and you see it, you have to get it. But yeah, that's all I have for haul. And then, so now we're going to talk about books. So if you're just came here for the cross stitching talk is over. Okay. So the books that I said I was reading, I'm just going to list them all before I start talking about them individually, were Blood Moon by Brittany S. Lewis, Yona of the Dawn, Volume 18 by Mizuho Kusanagi, A Court of Sugar and Spice by Rebecca F. Kenny, and then Witch Hat Atelier by Kamome Shirahama. So, and I feel bad. Sometimes I don't always give the authors, like, say who the authors are. Yeah, I'm doing that today. Okay, so let's talk about my progress with those books. So, Blood Moon, we're going to start with Blood Moon. When I started this, well, last Friday, when I filmed the first half of this video, I was on page 55. I'm now on page 90. What I've been kind of trying to do is just read a chapter a day, but a lot of the chapters are super short. So how I feel about this book right now, I'm bored. I think this book is boring. And I don't think I think I told you I have a little bit of bias against vampires and werewolves. Like, I'm not crazy about them. I read Twilight, but I never really got into like the Twilight craze. Even so, I have read some really good books with vampires and werewolves. So it's not, and I wouldn't pick up a book with those things if I really, really just didn't like them. So, but still, I think some people just devour these types of books regardless of how much they're enjoying them, just because they have a, vampires and werewolves. But I did see some more reviews of this online, and it says it's more werewolf heavy. I think maybe in later volumes we'll see more vampires. I have not seen, I'm on page 90. Like, this is what I'm talking about. I'm on page 90 and I have not seen any reveals of a vampire or a werewolf. We've seen like legends and glowing eyes in the woods, but when it comes to a genre like paranormal romance, I expect things to be a little bit more fast paced. Like, we got to get to the nitty gritty, because I feel like there's just a lot of realism going on. Like, she's the main character is a freshman in college. And so I'm reading about like college orientation, like freshman orientation, and like what the buildings look like, and like going to her classes, and like meeting like her roommates, like bonding with her roommates. I don't care about any of that stuff. I don't care about any of that stuff. Like, we need to get to the paranormal stuff. There was this really cool scene that I liked around the urban legends of the town, but it's just like, we're almost on page 100 and I haven't seen, like, we don't have any like paranormal interactions yet, like real hardcore paranormal interactions. This just all been like teaser stuff, and I just don't have the patience for that, because this genre is like, I can go find something else where like they're in my face all the time, and things are exciting. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm going to keep reading it. I'm going to try to finish it in November. Also, the dialogue I wouldn't say that it's poorly written, but it's like, it's kind of empty. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to be like mean, but I'm not getting anything out of the interactions. Like, there's two guys. There's definitely some vibes that a love triangle is going to happen, but I feel like the interactions between the two guys so far have been very rushed, and there's too much happening in between these interactions that is boring, and it just doesn't, I'm not getting a really good sense of like what the connection, I get a good sense of like who each character is, but like what the connection is between the main character and the guy she's talking to. Like, there doesn't seem, the connection between them feels really forced at this point. So I'm just expecting a little bit more out of where we're at in this book, but I'm going to keep reading, and watch it unfold a little bit more. I'm going to try to finish the book for sure. I DNF'd a lot of books already, and I get really annoyed when I'm like 20% through and I'm just like, I can't do this. And yeah, I've DNF'd like 2 or 3 books like between October and November, and I'm tired of forcing myself to read books that I don't vibe with. So I need this to get better. I need it to get a little bit more exciting. I need these conversations between the characters to be a little bit less boring. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. And the next book that I'm going to talk about is Yona of the Dawn, volume 18. I'll post a picture of the cover. And I was at 45% about a week ago, and now I'm done. I'm done with the volume. This was a sweet volume, because it was like backstory on one of the newest characters, and it was like, I wasn't usually backstory in mangas is pretty predictable and does not reveal too much that you didn't already like get from what was going on with the character in the present. But this one was like very revealing for this particular character. So, and it's the character that's on the cover of the volume. Um, so I really liked it. And if you haven't seen my past videos, Yona of the Dawn is about a princess whose um, father, who's the king, was murdered by one of her childhood friends, and she goes into hiding. Um, and but she still wants to like help out her kingdom and stuff. So she's also a part of of uh, this prophecy around like this Crimson Dragon King, and she's kind of like the Crimson Dragon King reincarnated, and she has like four other dragon like bodyguards, and they all find her and rally around her and like help her like save the kingdom while she's undercover and stuff like that. So this volume was like a focus piece on like the youngest uh dragon warrior that is supposed to protect her. So yeah, it was really good, and I'm definitely going to continue with the series, and I have volume 19 downloaded on my Kindle right now, so that's what I'll be reading next. Okay. What else? Okay, so the next book I'm going to talk about is A Court of Sugar and Spice by Rebecca F. Kenny. And this is the book that I'm actually enjoying the most. I'm not that far into it, but I am going to be reading it a little bit more voraciously now that I'm kind of freed up my reading space a little bit. So I was at 6% because I'm reading this on my Kindle, so I go by percentage. I was at 6% on Friday, and now I'm at 9%. So I haven't read it that much. I've been focusing on Blood Moon and Yona of the Dawn, but I am excited to kind of like dive into it. And I knew when I started it, it was going to be a really good book. And it kind of has the stuff that like Blood Moon is lacking a little bit for me, where everything is fast paced. Like we get right into the nitty gritty of like the fantasy element. It's a very spicy book. Like there's a lot of provocative language, like, and it's kind of like, I mean, it's a Nutcracker retelling, but the Nutcracker story is like you know, a little kid's fairy tale, but this is a much more mature take on it. But I'm like really enjoying it, and it has like steampunk elements and stuff like that. And it's funny, like it's got a lot going on, and I'm not even that far into it, which is like, I just really like just meaty, fast paced books that are not rushed, but they've got, stuff is happening, things are occurring, plot is plotting. And the characters are actually really, they're very like dynamic, like they're different from each other because it focuses on two sisters. I think book, in the original story, like the main character is either named Claire or Clara or Marie. And this was the Clara version, but she has, and I think in all the versions, the older versions of the Nutcracker, she has an older sister named like Louise or Lucille, something like that. And in this version, she's Louisa. So Louisa and Clara are like very different from each other, but they got like this cool sister bond, and they're like just going through this adventure together. So yeah, I'm I'm enjoying that one. Okay. And this is another indie author. So I will link all of the indie authors below, so you can find them. And then the last book that I was reading, I was reading when I last filmed, was Witch Hat Atelier Volume 9 by Kamome Shirahama. Yeah, this is more like YA fantasy manga, shoujo, which is, for those of you who aren't familiar with like certain like manga related terms, shoujo refers to like the target audience. So shoujo means it's targeted towards young girls, whereas like shonen is targeted towards young boys, and then there's seinen, which is targeted towards like older, like teenage into adult, young, like new adult boys. And yeah, I don't know all of the ones, but this is definitely shoujo. And I have not read anything. I was on page 8 the last time I talked. I'm still on page 8. But now that I'm done with Yona of the Dawn, I'm going to read Witch Hat Atelier more. And I'm just going to have it by my bedside so that I can just pick it up and read it. Okay. So I think that's everything. Oh, and just as a little, I don't think I talked about this, but I pledged 25 books for the year of 2025. And I really want to meet my goal this year because I'm always just like between 5 and yeah, I'm usually around like 5 to 7 books shy of meeting my goal. And I didn't want to change my goal too much this year. Like I think I changed it one time, but early in the beginning of the year because I had just finished these 2 huge books and I was just like, maybe I should lower my goal a little bit. And one of the issues I have is that I read very long books and um I don't read them fast. I don't think I take a long time to read them, but I read long books and I kind of expanded my book reach. I'm reading much shorter books, but I still read multiple books at a time. I have other hobbies. I'm also a writer. I am a mom. I have a lot going on. And so, but I think 25 books is like reasonable for me. Like I really feel like that should be like the minimum amount of books that I should be reading every year. And I used to have like 50 book goals and stuff like that. But and that was when I was like, I had no kids and I was like just fresh out of college or like in college. Like I'm never going to go back to those days until I'm like an empty nester or something maybe. But I'm like 3 books behind. I'm hoping to finish. It would be great if I could finish 3 books at the end of November. I don't know if that's going to happen with Thanksgiving and everything like that, but I've been more intentional about my reading time. Because sometimes like, I just like, do I want to read or do I want to watch this YouTube video? But a lot of times I get more out of reading than I do obviously watching something. So I'm trying to make sure that I stay on target, and it would be nice if I can finish 3 books by the end of this month. Maybe Blood Moon, Witch Hat Atelier, which is a manga, and maybe like I can throw one other manga in there because I don't think I'm going to finish A Court of Sugar and Spice, even though I really like that one. So that I only have 4 books for the month of um, December to get through. But yeah, that's kind of like what my goal is. Okay, so thank you for watching to the end of this video. If you liked the video, then please like the video, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and yeah, let me know what you thought of my progress and all the things I'm working on. And if you just want to chat about whatever you're working on, feel free to do that. And until next time, I hope you have a good one. Bye.